Welcome to our first video on the Goths. This video is going to be in 3 parts. We're going to start with an introduction, there's going to be a main body, and there's going to be a point of interest towards the end. Let me explain the sections, why we're doing that. So this is not going to be a usual kind of documentary that you might have come across. We have our own style on the channel, and we're going to try build a foundation for the Goths. So if you've just come across this video and you know about the Goths, you might not want to go through that, that foundation, and you can just jump to the point of interest. So that's up to you. Before we get into the main body, we'll just speak about this picture. This could be depicting a Gothic warrior. I don't know how accurate it is, but if there is any accuracy to it, you could probably learn a lot from this image, and you could follow some of these details with the armor and the weaponry. But when I was trying to prepare for this, for the Goths, I just came across this page and a very interesting testimony that we'll start with. Okay, so it says, later in 2008, thanks to the work of Professor Asen Chillingerov, I learned important details about how the history of the Getas was distorted and falsified to suit the interests of some countries. I just wanted to start this video with this because this kind of testimony is not unique. We've come across this kind of testimony on the channel before about distortion, falsification. So we'll try to see, what could be behind this and what the researcher could be alluding to. Let's go to the main part of the video and start trying to build a foundation on the Goths. And we're going to be just using a few maps. And we're actually going to try work backwards. So we're going to work backwards through the history of the Goths. Now, the first thing that we can see with this map as lay people, that there's 2 divisions, 2 different kingdoms for the Goths. We have the Ostrogoths, we have the Visigoths. And these names could have just the simple meaning of, the Eastern Goths and the Western Goths. We also notice there are 2 other kingdoms or peoples. We have the Burgundians, and we have mentioned the Burgundians in this playlist. And we have the Vandals. We haven't spoken about them. So what we can see just from this map is that the Goths are going to have, quite an influence on the history of Europe. 2 very powerful kingdoms. At this point, this is 523 AD. It's actually one king ruling over both kingdoms. What we're going to do is just to try to understand this period and add to our learning is just look at the ending of these kingdoms. So it says the Ostrogothic kingdom was destroyed by the Eastern Roman Empire in the 6th century AD. So this map we're looking at is actually just the Western Roman Empire. It doesn't show us the Eastern Roman Empire. So it's saying that the Ostrogothic kingdom was defeated by the Eastern Roman Empire. Now we'll try to learn about the Visigoths. It says, while the Visigothic kingdom was conquered by the Umayyad Caliphate in the early 8th century. So the Visigothic kingdom lasted a bit longer. And if we go to the page on the Umayyad Caliphate, it says, the Umayyad Empire was the 2nd caliphate established after the death of the Islamic prophet Muhammad. Just so we can get an idea of the time period and what's occurring. So the Visigothic kingdom is going to be conquered by, the caliphate. So an invasion from the south. Now we're actually going to go back in time to try to learn about this and build a foundation. So we can see that, very influential on European history, and the Goths are going to be playing a major role in the downfall and the destruction of the Western Roman Empire. But the Eastern Roman Empire will still continue after this. Okay, now this map, we're going back in time. This is around 305 AD. So we've gone back around 200 years. Now this is a unified Roman Empire that it's showing us. And then we notice we have the Visigoths and the Ostrogoths in this region. Now the sea is quite important for our study because we're actually questioning this, the sea and the kingdoms around the sea. It's difficult to explain what I mean by that in this video because it will take us way, it'll be difficult to explain it, but we're questioning the history and the kingdom surrounding this Black Sea. So the fact that they've got the Visigoths and the Ostrogoths here means that we're going to be questioning this. So this is quite interesting. If we think about, we're going to jump between the two maps. So within 200 years, we have the Goths in this region towards what we know today as the Black Sea. And if we go back to the first map, we notice what's happened in, let's say, 200 years. So that's quite amazing. I don't know, is it true what we're looking at here in terms of how it happened? With this being, where the Goths would have been at this point in history outside the Roman Empire. So they're outside the Roman Empire. And then within 200 years, we have a really different picture. And the Western Roman Empire being conquered and largely being ruled over by the Goths. Now we have to introduce a very important scholar, so a historian called Jordanes, and he wrote the Getica, so a history on the Goths. So a very important source to try to learn about the Goths. Now, not everything that is in the Getica is going to be supported or welcomed by scholars. So they might agree with some things or use some things, but then also other parts are going to be downplayed or even left as, let's say, legendary history. So now we're going to try to explain this map. So now what we're looking at here are cultures. So not tribes or historical peoples, just a culture. So this one here, I don't know how you pronounce it, but I think it's the Cherniakov culture. We notice where this is, how it's going to respond or relate to this map. So the fact that we have the Goths in this region and we have this culture in the same region, then scholars are going to be looking for a connection. Can you connect the Goths with this culture? And now we're tracing our way to the origins, and that's largely going to be connected to the work of Jordanes, because it says here, according to Jordanes, the Goths originated on an island called Skansa, from where they emigrated by sea to an area called Gothiskansa, under their king, Berig. Now, at first sight, this name Berig looks very interesting because we've been speaking about legendary figures. So this, if you've been following our channel, you might see and know why this name looks very interesting. But I haven't been able to find anything to link it to our previous work. So I'm not going to say anything more than just that it's a very interesting name. And it would be a legendary king. Now I see in brackets here it has Scandinavia. So did Jordanes, when he said in his work Skansa, have in mind what we perceive as Scandinavia? So if we go to a map, so we get an idea. So this is the World Atlas page, and it's saying Scandinavian countries. So Denmark, Norway, Sweden. So we're in the world of the Norse, the people of the North. So we've come a little bit outside of our area of study, the Celtic world. So we're in the region of the Norse. And this is what we have to consider for the origin for the Goths. According to Jordanes and also the way scholars interpret the work Getica. So we've gone back in time to think about the origin, tracing the origin back towards Scandinavia. And it does make sense to consider this because we actually do still have an island called Gotland. You could say the land of the Goths. So this island here. So we still have a name carrying down to us as Gotland. So it would make sense to consider this as the origin for the Goths, or to think about this for Gothic studies. And these two different colors, this color is going to be connected with the Goths, just a different pronunciation, Gutar or Gotar, and then the other color is going to be connected with the Swedes. We need to mention just one more culture for this map, which is the Vbar culture. We didn't mention that. So we'll do this just to summarize the main body of this video. So we have the Goths originating in Skansa, according to Jordanes, and then emigrating by sea to an area called Gothiskansa. Now, Gothiskansa is what's being interpreted by the scholars as the Goths coming into this region of the Vbar culture. And this is going to be in the country we know as Poland. I haven't got the map for that, but this country here we know as Poland, and then coming towards the Black Sea as we know it today. So we'll just recap those maps. So the origin coming towards the area of the Black Sea, and then we have them around 305 AD outside the Roman Empire, and then moving towards the 523 AD, we have a really different picture with a massive influence on Europe and the history. And we spoke about the the fall of the Western Roman Empire, largely to be connected with the Goths. Now we're going to move to the point of interest for the video. We're going to use the source, the Phoenician origin of Britons, Scots, and Anglo-Saxons, and we're going to read this paragraph. We now discover that the Sumerians and Hitto-Phoenicians, or early Goths, called themselves or their leading clans by the names of goat, or by names which were more or less identical in sound with their name for goat, and so made it easy for the picture of the goat to represent rebus-wise their title of Goth. Now I had to search for what rebus means. I didn't know what that meant, so we'll just do that. Okay, so rebus, picture. It is a representation of words or syllables by pictures of objects or by symbols whose names resemble the intended words or syllables in sound. So if we try think about this, so what we're not doing, or what I should say is, what's not happening here is that we're just looking for a similarity with the words. So we see how Goth does look similar to goat, and then making a connection saying, are the Goths the goat people, let's say. What the scholar is saying is that this is actually intended. The name Goth is intended to have this, if we use this word rebus that we're learning with the name goat. So this is going to link with our previous videos. We did a video speaking about the Bible identifying Alexander the Great as the rough he-goat, and we're learning about Hercules as the goat hero, and we said we're going to try to follow the goat to see how it helps with our study. So if we say follow the goats, are we actually saying that we're following the Goths? So this is the point of interest for the video, because just in this one paragraph, it could be saying quite a lot, and it could affect the way we see the Goths, the imagination, because now we have this idea of early Goths being connected with the Sumerians. So that would completely change potentially if you want to say the history or the way we look at the Goths, where we see, the main theory of the origin being, Scandinavia, the region of the Norse. But maybe we mustn't just, let's say, accept what's been given to us. We're obviously going to consider it and study it, thinking about also how we started the video, thinking about, is there distortion or falsification? because we've got a lot to explore and think about now for the Goths. So in our next part, we will try go on one of our exploring videos, exploring the name Goth. So thank you for watching this video. If you'd like to share any comments about the video, or maybe you know things about the Goths you'd like to share, you think might help. So yeah, we always appreciate, let's say, constructive comments, even if they are, constructive criticism. So that's going to be it for our first video. Thank you for watching this one, and I look forward to seeing you in another video.